And we are live. Super, 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 super excited to be here today with my amazing friend, Miss Kitty Fast. Yes, yes, yes. Quick introduction, and then we're going to dive in. What we are doing here today. Although I'm sure many of you know that when Kitty and I get together, we're coming together to share some insight, but also to help you explore some of the gifts that you can tap into with this insight. So I am Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, medical astrologer, master of numerology, and also the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck, and happen to be in my place of business today, as you can see from my background. So super excited to be the owner of Holistic Fitness located in Queens. And I will have Kitty introduce herself. So go for it, Kitty.
Kitty's tired. I'm Kitty. I'm the storytelling astrologer, um, part owner of the class Optimize Your Energy with the Moon and Stars on the uh, which is a private class looking at your horoscope, and the co-owner of Intuition of the Soul, a place for people to meet, greet, and learn more about their spirituality. We have wonderful guest speakers. We have a whole library of them, including our friend over there, Joanne, who did an amazing job. And so we're here today to talk about the flow.
Yes, yes. And before we do, because we are actually streaming on several platforms, so those who are watching, whether you're watching on live with us now or to the replay on Twitter, remember to hit that little heart and share it out if you wish. And we're going to dive into YouTube, make sure we're there too. I love the fact that we can play on so many platforms now. It's just so exciting. I've
Well,
always wanted to be, what's that?
I said I'm glad you're playing on them because I seem to be having, and I was looking, I seem to be having
What's that?
some glitches with my Mercury today. So
Yes, yes. And we're also on YouTube. So those of you who are watching from there, whether you're watching live or replay, remember to do a couple of things. We're gonna hit the thumbs up. We're gonna share. And if you want to know when we go live, I think there's a little bell that you can tap into, and it rings when we go live, so you don't miss us. We don't want you to miss us ever. And I go
no.
live quite frequently. And really depending on my mood, so to speak. I have scheduled lives and then I have unexpected lives, and I would just decide, well, you know what? I feel like playing today, and I play with lives. I try to get into people's energies and connect. And now we're going to land on the final page where hopefully we'll have some activity. Well, we have Tanya there. So, hello, Tanya. Thank you for being here with us today. And I hope, Tanya, that you're going to get a lot out of this. Tanya, if you know your sun, moon, and rising sign, if you can, put that in the comments so Kitty and I can talk exactly to you, since you're the only one here with us live right now. Maybe that will change over the time that we are here, but thank you for being here. And those who are watching on the replay later, we would love to know what you get out of today's live, because it's not just about, Kitty and I coming together to play. Yeah, it really is. It really is about
Yeah,
her and I
really
coming
is.
together to play. And in
Yeah.
addition to that, because both of us are theoretically healers, we always want to give. We always want to give. It's what we do. We want to give. So we want to make sure that you get something out of this. So we need to know what landed with you, and even come back like maybe in a week or two and share with us what we shared with you and see how it unfolds. Because everything that we do share doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen right in this moment. It could be something that might happen a couple of days from now, and even weeks from now for that matter. So please note that. And as Kitty said before in our introduction, today we are here to chat about the gifts that you can actually activate with all this Pisces energies. Now, in case you're not aware, we currently have several planets in Pisces, except the Sun. We are no longer in the Sun Pisces. We are actually in Aries. But we
Hmm.
have some other really, I like to call them players. This is what I call our planets these days, players. So we have Mars, which will go into Pisces tomorrow, but it's almost there. I'm sure every one of us are feeling that nudge to want to get up and do something, or maybe not. Maybe you want to get up and just stay on the couch, depending on where that actual energy sits on your particular chart. Then we also have Venus, our planet of love, but also connection with money as well. So there may not be so much love going on if you're stressing over some money right now. And then we also have Neptune and Jupiter, which did a beautiful dance yesterday. And I know I am buzzing from it. Kitty says she's tired. So, Kitty, with that face that she just made, go ahead.
Well, and that also has a little bit to do that I'm a water sign, and so with a lot of water, and so all of this flowing and emotional piece that is connected to water for me is like a lot of rest. This last week, I think many of us have felt a need to rest. We've got all this sparking energy to start and create and manifest, and then last week we had this aspect with Saturn and Uranus and a few others that was kind of holding us in place. And I like the explanation I've recently heard about it was slowing us down so spirit could speed up and get some things in place for us. So we are in this beautiful Pisces. Mars, of course, enters it tomorrow. This flow. And Pisces really is this sign of the imagination. It's the ascended masters. It's how do I flow like the river? I go around the rocks. I find the path to go. But it also can feel gullible. It can feel really heavy, and you can get into kind of self-reflection, self-suffering. That is the more dense version versus the more expanded version of Pisces. So this week, all of this Piscean energy, the good news is a lot of stuff was held in check this week. Some of the transformative energy, some of the more chaotic energy. And Taurus is this big player this year anyway that wants benevolence, wants beauty. And of course, we've got this Pisces energy that wants this flow, wants Neptune there. And yesterday, huge conjunction with our expanding energy. I know Joanne did a whole show on it.
Yes.
This expanding energy with this imagination, this Neptune higher understanding. And so Pisces wants you to flow and get on board with spirit, and at the same time it wants you to use that imagination. So sometimes that feels like you're kind of spacey and way out there, and dreams have been, I bet you your dreams have been super vivid, haven't they, Joanne?
Oh yeah, yeah. Which is interesting. In addition to the dreams being super interesting, one of the things I've noticed a lot of my clients have been saying, as you've mentioned before, about this might be a really good time for sleep and rest. What I've noticed for myself and what my clients have noticed and saying to me is the opposite. We're not sleeping. We're having a challenging time sleeping. Like I would go to bed by 11 o'clock, but then I would literally find myself with my eyes wide open and literally just laying there trying to figure out, okay, so why can't I not go to sleep? And I think it's just a lot of this energy that's buzzing through. And being that I do have theoretically Pisces sun energy, so I'm definitely feeling that major connection of all of these planets that's in Pisces right now, where it's getting my imagination to go, where I can literally, if someone probably gave me pen and paper and told me just to creatively draw, and I'm not a drawer, I do not draw at all. If they were to tell me to do that, I probably would, based on my higher self, just begin to draw out what's going on up here, the visions that I'm actually seeing in my mind's eye from some of my dreams. And it's like, wow, it's like, is this really what's going on? Or is this just my imagination that's creating this vision?
Well, all of the things you're seeing around us right now were somebody's imagination at one time.
Yes, that's true. Thank you.
And so that's part of this dreaming, this imagination of Pisces, Neptune, this where we can bring that imagination to expand will allow us to create the world we want to see. I said that a lot of sleeping happening, that doesn't mean a lot of resting is happening.
Yeah.
Because even when you do sleep, the vividness of the dreams, you wake up going, I mean, I woke up a couple days ago and I had traveled enough in the timeline that I actually thought my son, who is hear this number, 27, going to be 28 in July, was still a baby, because in the dream it was so vivid and I'd so interacted that I came into this, out of those, into those delta waves, and was like, wait a minute, my son is 27 years old. Um, there's no baby here, you know.
Yeah, no.
But it was so vivid and so real. I know I was kind of traveling in a space time. So it really is. Probably what's nice for you is that is your center energy. For the rest of us dealing with Pisces, that happens to be my south node, which means I have a lot of information on it, but I'm still trying to climb that Everest of my north node, Virgo.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting because, negative. I'm not going to call it negative. No, negative's not bad, but that denser version is gullible. It's the addictive piece. It is the misogynistic piece. It can be destructive and clingy, and it's the left brain doubting that everything you're thinking of is real. And then you have this beautiful Pisces that is comforting and helpful and wise. And, this whole week, though, tuning in, if you can reach it and hold it, it's super available. And there's a lot of things, very conveniently being kind of held at bay to try to access it. So, but
Yes.
you've got all these personal planets, Venus and Mars, that are going to be in Pisces.
And let's
Um,
speak of Venus just a second. One of my
mm-hmm,
favorite planets, and why it's a favorite, happens to also be in Pisces, as we just said, which on my chart is in Pisces. So here I have my Sun in Pisces and Venus in Pisces. So out of the what is it? Out of the four planets that's in Pisces, two of those I am carrying. So imagine how I am feeling with all this amazing energy.
yeah, it's a good time, and it's a good time. This week is opening back up after that conjunction yesterday to go back to not go back. Spirit has given us an ability to go forward a little bit in our manifestation. It kind of wanted us to hold still to work on that expansion, because when you're in the time of Aries, it's sparking. You're trying to get stuff done, and it's a great time to do that. But with this other energy that was available, um, to spark what you can imagine has been a really big uh, piece of that. And so for some of us, we'll feel like we've gone on a drier ride. So, like we've just been tumbling along trying to figure out where the flow is, that is that very Piscean wise energy. And of course, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, too. So, whenever there's this much Pisces, though we are in Aries beginning, we're also completing in those personal planets, those planets that are our daily energy, relationship. And we're headed for this relationship moon.
Oh yeah.
Woohoo!
Oh yeah, yes, the opposition of Aries, right in Libra, to bring
Yeah.
some balance back into our relationships. In fact, I was just sharing one of my clients this morning because she actually has her sun in Aries, and I was sharing with her that this is her full moon, the opposition sign, for her to really work on those relationships that she wants to bring more balance into. And for anybody, if there's a specific relationship you have going on that you feel that's sort of out of balance, out of alignment, this is perfect energy to sit in and do some reflecting in regards to what it is about the relationship that you feel isn't aligned with you anymore. How can you bring it back into balance? And then use, as Kitty said, this is a great time to sit in imagination. I mean, Pisces is all about your imagination and the dream state, and begin to visualize, like, if need be, write it down first to how you would like that relationship to look for you. So write it first. Then once you write it, then read it back like you're reading a story, and then close your eyes and imagine what you just read. Because now what you've done three steps. You first thought about it, you reflected, then you literally wrote it. And there's something so powerful about writing things down that we're looking to manifest. And then after you're writing it, then you turn around and sit and you visualize it. You literally see it happening. And interesting thing about the universe is the universe has absolutely no idea if what you are seeing here is actually happening in real time or if it's your imagination. All the universe knows is that it needs to align that vision into your reality because the universe doesn't know if it's there or not. So you've done the writing, you've done the visualizing, and now you get to manifest it as long as you don't fall back, and as Kitty said, back into that space of the ego questioning what it is you just visualize, because that's really important. And as humans, we tend to do that often, where we start second guessing. Well, can this really be? Do I deserve this to be? And all this self doubt, so to speak. So using this full moon to bring things back into balance. So whatever relationship that you feel is off track, this is a perfect time to bring it back on track and evaluate the relationship too.
Because Libra is that seventh house of business, contracts, relationships. It and Venus is the player in this Libra moon. And the thing about Pisces is it's the archetype of the wholeness. WHOLE. It's the last sign of the zodiac. It is a completion on itself. And it's very spiritually aligned. It's on that 12th house of bringing from the unconscious to the conscious, bringing secrets forward. And so part of what's been happening in this all of this conjunction and Jupiter, Neptune, going to be Mars, um, Venus, it is all Neptune being the far out planet, the planet of spirit, the planet that is farther out, that's more of the collective. This is also a time to complete how you're seeing yourself in your bigger world. And it is attuned to the spiritual realm. That's what its function is. It's that ascended master. How do I rise and live a truly authentic life that I want to be? Who is the whole person I want to be? And that also means accepting those parts that we're not as fond of.
Exactly. And
So,
as Kitty was sharing, I was being guided to pull a card based on the full moon in Libra, and everything else she was just sharing about the other planets, the other players. And it's interesting on the card that I got, and I really felt like I was going to get a different card, but I got this one, and it's rebirth. Rebirth. So when we think about the rebirth and this full moon's energy being in Libra, where we get to bring things back into balance, that is literally a rebirth, where you're actually allowing yourself to be reborn into this relationship. So whatever the relationships may be, it's an opportunity to go into a space of, or coming out of a space of the ego and holding on to all the things that created the messiness in the relationship, and really getting to that point of saying, you know what, there's no need to hold on to all of that messiness anymore. The messiness no longer serves this energy now. So I'm going to move into that space of compassion, which is the high heart, compassion, and recognizing that what your part was in the messiness, and forgive yourself for that part. And then also recognizing, hoping the other person recognizes their messy part, and even if they don't, forgive them. Because it's really not about whether or not they're going to accept their accountability for the messiness. Because if we're going to hold on to that, then we don't move into compassion and we can't forgive. And that's where the rebirth comes in, is where we learn how to just say, you know what? Whatever the reasons for why we're not speaking, or we may not agree, or you feel a certain kind of way about something, I'm okay with this. And I just want to have a really good relationship with you where we are right now, and not worry about all the stuff from the past. And when we think about that 2-in-1 energy, it really is about that partnership that we have with that other person, but also the relationship we have with ourselves. And when we can recognize the relationship we have with ourselves and come to terms with whatever the messiness was and how you played a part in it, then that's when you can pull out of the ego and develop a better relationship with self, where that rebirth comes in. And then you get that 3 energy, is where you get to express, you get to speak truth, you get to speak in a space of using the words I'm sorry, and you get to move into the space of I just want to move forward in this relationship with you. and do that with the sense of compassion and bringing more balance into that relationship, especially relationships where it's more in regards to like family relationships, close relationships. That's really that's the energy here. Some relationships may not, I hate to say it like this, but may not be in the space to mend and bring together. It may be in a space where you have to just forgive it and allow it to part its way, because that too brings balance, where you can just say, you know what, we've done what we came here to do, whatever it was, I forgive it. And now you allow yourself to separate from that relationship and allow yourself to move on into new relationships. And I think that's where that rebirth really comes in. And we're definitely
Yeah,
going to have a lot of help with this full
and
moon.
it really, because it's that synthesis of all that information. I've got an echo again. And so that um, it teaches us that the reality that we have is just as important as the reality we imagine. And you can dream into existence that wholeness of the life that you want. It's a beautiful opportunity for us in our community, like you said, that two in one. Who am I authentically? How do I show up in my relationships? And then the wholeness of that one plus one really does equal three, because there is a second piece to that. And so, this Piscean energy is beautiful and many of these things, but it can also be, it's a really great time to remember to ground yourself and to look at the physical need to bring in this expansive energy into the reality of who we are, but we're creating our own reality. So it's just an interesting time. And looking at this Libra, I'm looking at the full moon itself, and there, of course, there's a trine going on in the background with Mars. So Mars in Pisces, your will is right there. Structure, which is in Aquarius, is in a trine that day. So there is a lot of things. You're literally dreaming into structure, not only a balance, putting in what do I want from this relationship moon that's out there, this Venus kind of energy that's
Yes.
stepping forward.
And I wanna note that Sue is saying the number 222. And when we think about the number 222 in angel numbers, it's really about having faith and trusting that our planets are really helping us. I mean, I truly believe that. I truly believe when I became more attuned to the planets and what it meant to my actual personal natal chart, and really became like on top of it and understood it, it took away some of the, I'm going to use the word anxiety of the unknown, and recognizing that, okay, this is what's happening, this is the theme. Okay, I know that I have to just sort of, as Kitty said earlier, just sort of sit. This is not a time for me to do anything just yet. This is a time for me to stay still and allow the planets to do what it needs to do, as opposed to trying to do something against the energy. And a lot of us have a bad habit of doing that, where we're so focused on wanting to drive the car, so to speak, that when we're really supposed to be in the passenger seat, allowing the planets to do what it needs to do, is where we get ourselves in trouble, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I
that's
told
hard
this.
during the time of hot Aries. Just
Yeah,
is.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, because Aries is an action. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm on fire. Let's go. Let's go. In fact, a colleague of mine, I think it was last week, he wasn't well, had fever, and I sent him a message stating to him, well, the fever is a representation of you're on fire. You're on fire. You're in that space of you getting ready to move into something that's going to bring more fire and energy into your energy field. So you need this rest first, which is where the fever comes in, to get him the rest. so you can get yourself energized for what is coming. And a lot of us don't understand that if we come down with whether it's physical discomfort or some sort of physical symptom that shows up, that is almost like the universe's way to say rest. It's time for you to rest a moment because you're going to need the energy for what is coming. Now, if you go against that and you're going to try to push through, and when I say this, the message is for me because I do this, I do this a lot. Where if I'm not feeling well or whatever, not, I'll still push through without the rest, but not realizing that I've gotten better. Where it's like, okay, my body is saying I need to rest now because there's something really big coming in that I'm going to need a lot of energy for. And if I don't rest now, I'm not going to be 100% for all that energy that's coming in. And since we speak about resting and health and the Aries energy of like let's get up and go 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 go, but then you got all this stuff in Pisces, in regards to our imaginations and just the will to have to like be still. The other card that came up is health. When we think about our health, which is another component of our relationship, the relationship we have with our health and how important that relationship is with our health and how healthy are we in our mind, body, and spirit, and our emotions for that matter. And 33 is really about what I hear with this. It's like the sacrifice that we have to do so we can be healthy. We have to sacrifice something so we can be healthy. There's so many, and this part comes from the personal trainer that I am. There's so many people out there that just don't have time to exercise. And it's like, well, I don't really have time to exercise, but to me it's a priority. So I make the time. I take in my 12-hour day that I'm awake and I take 30, 45 minutes of that 12-hour day and I move my body. So I can take care of my health because it's important to me. And eventually over time, I think it becomes important to everybody when they get to that point when their health is at the table and testing them. So that 33 is really about how we sacrifice. We need to sacrifice something so we can be healthy. And that 6 energy is right in alignment to the Virgo energy that Kitty was speaking about too. Talk a little bit more about that Virgo Taurus energy.
Well, this week we've had a lot of we have a lot of things in Taurus in general this year, and Taurus is ruled by Venus as well. So we have a lot of Taurus energy, and then we have this Libra moon. So it really is about this planet Venus, relationship with self, relationship with home, relationship with values. And we have this Virgo moon that we're kind of presently dealing with, the moon as we get closer. And Virgo wants us to pay attention to all those synchronicities. So it's, not a mistake that we started in a Virgo moon before that conjunction yesterday, because it wants us to pay attention to all the synchronicities and all the other things that Spirit is starting to put in to help us expand. And so Taurus is the north node of the world right now, in benevolence, in beauty, in all of those Venus, in our values about money. Money is a big player right now. And of course, with all this Pisces energy, paying attention to our dreams and our imagination and what our values are, they're having a pretty in-depth conversation.
To say the least.
And in my opinion, mine are having a weird conversation because I'm like, but I know mine are all about vehicles and things that are powered, taking control in the direction that you're going. And it seems in my dreams at the moment I'm feeling like I'm not in control. I'm not driving the cars. The buses aren't going where they're supposed to be. The boat leaves without me. Those are the 3 days of dreams I've had. And so what is that benevolence, that Taurus thing I need to put into place that stabilizes what's not feeling powerful for me?
Yeah.
So,
and also too, when you think of that, Mercury is one of our planets who actually is in Taurus right now.
yes,
And
Mercury's also in Taurus, yeah.
yeah. So when you have Mercury in Taurus, Mercury is all about automobiles. Mercury is about traveling. Mercury is about scheduling. Mercury is about technology as well. So for you, Katie, in reference, you have those three experiences where either the bus didn't show up, the boat left without you, and you're not in the driver's seat. It may not necessarily be about you not driving, but maybe it's more about where you feel you no longer need to drive to, and just taking that aspect. Where do you see at this point in time, how much have you grown and transformed that you don't have to drive to that place anymore? And that could be one of the reasons why you're not in control right now, because it's the universe's way to get you to start shifting away from the things you don't need to be in anymore.
Yeah,
Does
it's
that make
funny because
sense?
I actually threw my phone in the thing and said, ah, screw this, into the snow. And yet the phone had a power pack with it. So that was interesting all by itself, you know? I mean, yeah, it's just been this what does that mean? And of course, Mercury is the personal communication technology planet, and Uranus, which is also in Taurus, is the more cosmic one, is the we of us. And so those two planets being in the same sign is about, oh, now I start to echo what I'm saying this, um, is about that benevolence and that values and what am I creating with this Piscean energy and dreaming that stabilizes me, that brings my life into the wholeness that I value. And so you have it available in the we as well as the personal. So it's a big conversation going on right now about that. So
Yeah,
that's I like that interpretation. Okay, so things are leaving me behind, and yet I'm still going on, and I'm still saying I know I'm going to get there. It's just not at this moment. Again, I need to pause. So
yes, yes, yes. It's almost to the point where the vision I'm seeing, as you say, it's like you're at the subway and you have a train coming, but the train says out of service. So it's just gonna go because you're standing there, you're waiting for the train, but it's gonna go because it's out of service. Another train comes, but it's whatever letter train, not the train you need to get on. So that's gonna go. So all of these automobiles are going, things that relating to transit, movement, are going past you, giving you a chance to sort of, I'm going to use the word, catch up with yourself in reference to what's coming. Because
mm-hmm.
something is obviously coming, and there's going to be something, whether it's a train, a bus, a boat, or whatever, it's going to come, it's going to stop, and it's going to say, okay, Katie, it's time to get on because it's time for you to start moving. And that's going to definitely happen. Now, in reference to like all this other energy between the Pisces and the Taurus energy that's taking place, this full moon Libra that's taking place, everything coming together where we as the collective and also individually, this is our opportunity to start really tapping into, okay, so what gifts are going to open with all this energy that's working in our favor? And not get caught up in, as Kitty was saying, why am I being left behind? What
Mm-hmm.
gifts are going to come in? Because if we're in that mindset of why am I being left behind, we may actually miss that train that's going to come and stop. But if you're in your mind thinking, oh, why am I left behind? Why is this not working? The train's going to go and you're going to miss it. Now, in reality, and this expression was actually stated in one of my accountability groups last week. And the expression is whatever is meant for you will be. If it is meant for you, whether you miss that train in that very moment, there will be another train that's going to show up, or there's going to be a car that's going to show up. But there's going to be something that's going to come to invite you in so you can take the movement you need to go. So maybe if you are in that dream state and trying to figure it out, or focus on, well, why is this not working for me right now? There will be a time where something's going to jolt you where you're going to go.
Well, and this Taurus and Pisces um, are receptive energies. They're very feminine. So it really is about waiting for the right thing because you're receiving it. And even though it seems for me, the car was leaving or the bus stopped to do their own thing, even though they needed to go, back and pick up the people. And it is about receiving until probably this full moon where we very look at this very expressive piece, time to step off because we're moving into the sign of Taurus also.
So you
you
are
know
reading my mind. I was just about to say that, as of
hmm
next week, we are literally moving out of Aries and moving into Taurus. So
yep.
talk about more Taurus energy. It's like we're going to now have the sun in alignment with Mercury and Uranus to help us. And
And the
there's,
world's north node.
yes, we cannot forget that. As much as I may want to, we cannot forget that. So we're going to have a lot of energy that's going to be helping us, with our values, with our physical and material possessions. And still, I mean, we still have the four planets that's sitting in Pisces at that point. So again, this is an opportunity to
Very
really,
receptive, isn't it?
yeah,
Very receptive, yeah.
yeah, it's an opportunity to really sit and take time to visualize, but not even visualize, take time to do like inventory to what it is you really want to create with this energy. What magic, what gift do you want to unwrap with this? Because I truly believe we are all the creators to our own story. And if we're going to sit in that space of, oh, well, this isn't happening and that's not happening, just like Kitty said earlier on if we just stay focused on what's not working and we're not using this amazing energy that we have right now to really work on manifesting that gift into our reality, we're going to miss this opportunity right now. I mean, yeah, we'll probably get an opportunity later, but hell, why not take it now with this all this? I mean, there's just no way. We just cannot miss this opportunity. There's too many planets to go about missing an opportunity.
and
There's
and
some
right now
comments.
all the planets are direct,
Yes,
so it's not any kind of check. I think the next planet that goes uh
Mercury.
it's Mercury goes retrograde on the 29th. Yeah.
Yes.
So
It goes retrograde 29th of what? April or May?
April.
Oh, because I was reading something
I'm
that went
sorry.
there.
Pluto goes retrograde. It's not Mercury. It's Pluto goes retrograde on the 29th. That's our next planet that goes retrograde.
Oh, Lord help us. Yes. And then Mercury goes retrograde May 10th, no?
Let me look. I think so. But the first one to go retrograde is Pluto in on the 29th.
And
And it's of
that's in
course
Capricorn.
that's in Capricorn, yes. And it's going back over some of the same points that Uranus has gone in that 10th degree. Let me see. Yes, Mercury goes retrograde on the 10th of May. So it'll be interesting. And the same day that Pluto goes retrograde, Mercury goes into Gemini. Its home
Shall we all,
sign.
shall we all just take a breath?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So some of the comments here, Robin is
But the
thanking
moon
us.
goes into Taurus that day at least, so it helps mitigate it a little bit.
Yes, yes. Robin is thanking us for all this amazing information we're sharing. And Jennifer said that she has us on YouTube and Facebook, and she's like, oh, this is so funny. So I guess she's watching from both places. Quite interesting. Yes. And Jennifer also says that she feels like Mercury is already retrograde. Jennifer, you know what? I was actually just saying that to my husband today. I was
I
like,
think
I
I
feel
said
like
that earlier. I'm having a Mercury kind of day.
yeah, I feel like I'm having
hmm
my own personal Mercury retrograde. It's like yesterday, was it yesterday? Yesterday. Well, this whole week for that matter, I was thinking, I was looking at my calendar. Yesterday I was confirming all my appointments for Thursday, thinking that yesterday was Wednesday. So here I am confirming all my appointments for Thursday. One of my clients texts me and says, can I come in tomorrow at such and such time? And because in my head, I'm thinking today was going to be Thursday. I'm like, well, I can see you, but I'm going to have to see you later because I have a podcast at that time. So let me schedule in later. Okay. So now, of course, last night before I go to bed, I look at my schedule for Wednesday, and I'm like, okay. And I'm like, wait a minute, why did I schedule her for Thursday? Tomorrow's not Thursday, it's only Wednesday. I was like, where the hell am I? My own Mercury retrograde.
Well,
You
I
know?
actually think really kind of part of this is this. First of all, it's that expansion that happened with the Jupiter Neptune, and because the moon's in Virgo, it's all the little pieces are kind of trying to, in that dreaminess, pull those physical pieces in. I actually, funny, kind of weird Mercury thing. Two things. One, I'm moving, so we're forwarding mail, and I have to put every single name I have because I'm Kitty Foss, I'm Catherine Foss, I'm Catherine Buttigieg Foss in for because I haven't been able to get packages forwarded. And then, so I'm putting them, adding the names in, and all of a sudden the United States Post Office tries to charge me $99. It goes into a fraud alert. All of these things start happening. I'm like, what's Mercury? No, but it's the details. It's pulling
Yes,
the details together that
yes,
is a piece of this, and it wants to balance in coming into this balancing moon is a lot about, though it's about the relationship with ourselves, to
yes,
get ready for this very Taurus receptive time that's coming in the next 2 weeks. And by the way, when Pluto goes retrograde and Mercury goes into Gemini, the very next day is the solar eclipse in Taurus. So,
So again, shall we breathe? So what I like to do now, Kitty, if you're open to it, is let's pull a few cards. Let's see
okay.
what kind of insight we can give our group here. Jennifer says she's jealous. Jennifer, what are you jealous about? What are you jealous about? And Robin is saying that she loves. Let's see. I love it as I was born during Mercury retrograde, so it barely affects her. Lucky you.
Yeah, I'm a Mercury retrograde baby too, and it doesn't. What affects me is more how it affects other people. Like,
Yes.
I tend to be not tempting the Mercury retrograde fates, the person who can get the stuff to work, versus the other people who seem to have the more of the glitches. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Now, anytime we go into Mercury retrograde, at least a week before Mercury retrograde, during that shadow period, is usually when my schedule with clients get all over the place. Usually, most of the time.
yeah. See, and I've kept this particular month. I'm keeping it pretty open because we're trying to pack and just for this kind of thing, like I was supposed to be typing something up and instead I'm dealing with fraud in the United States Post Office and calling my bank who the fraud department, it was a funny, they called to tell me and I said no, I did not charge you $99 to the United States Post Office. So they said, well, we might have to put your call, let me transfer you to the fraud department. And then we're too busy and they hang up on me. I'm like, no, 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 I don't want you freezing my card. I'm trying to get ready to move. Like this is not the time to have the frozen card. So I had to call the bank. So yeah, just all of those little pieces as we pull together, trying to
Hmm.
stabilize again that Taurus in the flow, pulling the pieces out that we need. So yeah, let's do some cards.
Yes, yes. So, Kitty, question: do you want to do cards, just general card readings, or you want to just connect with the group? Because we do have, let's see, we have 3 or 4 people with us. We have Jennifer, we have Sue. I think Robin is still
Now,
here.
I have to go get my. Are you going to pull cards, or can you pull the cards and I can
Go
because
get,
my
go get
my
your cards.
cards are in a box over here.
Go get your
So
cards.
you know,
I will pull cards while Kitty runs away.
you know. So
There we go. There we go.
Kitty has to go get some cards because
There we go. That's
she
all good.
keeps packing and unpacking her things. So hold on.
Yes, there we go. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull cards, the collective energy for everyone who's here with us and those who might be watching on the replay. See what we need in regards to what chakra we need to focus on, so we can clear that chakra out, so we can be in alignment without the fears, without the scatterbrain, so to speak, which I usually get when I get a little overwhelmed. So let's see what we have. What card? I'm loving the card that popped in. Domestic harmony. I think that's perfectly aligned with this full moon in Libra, bringing more balance into our household in throat chakra. So that's the chakra that we want to work on. I've been talking about this chakra a lot this week in reference to how many people have been experiencing stiffness in their shoulders, their shoulder blades, their jaw, their teeth even. That's all throat chakra association. So if you are experiencing any of that, this might be a really good time to either grab, if you have crystals, a turquoise crystal and just sit it right there, or if you have some oils, whether it be peppermint oil, or even one better, just have a conversation. Have a conversation, look in the mirror and have a conversation with self. You don't necessarily need to have a conversation with a person that you want to talk to about expressing, but have a conversation where you get the words out so you can feel heard, and perhaps you'll bring more harmony into your home life. Number 22 is a master number, master builder. So it is really about what you are building in your foundation. And with all this energy that is going on in Taurus right now, Taurus is about how you value your foundation, how you value the physical, the material, the relationships around you. And then, of course, everything in Pisces right now, a perfect gift in reference to building healthier, stronger relationships in your foundation. So that four is about that balance, which comes right back into our Libra energy. Balance, balance, balance. Where do you need more balance in your household? How can you balance your own mind, body, and spirit, your own emotions while this full moon is taking place? And really, really embrace this amazing gift that Pisces is bringing in for all of us. And whether you are aware of the gift yet or not, just be open to that gift showing up. So that's the first card. Now that Kitty's back, she's going to pull a card for us.
Well, it's interesting. This goes right with it. So the card I pulled, this is the Magic You Oracle.
Oh, nice.
And what's kind of cool about this is they give you in this deck. So when Joanne, you're creating your next deck, this is I really like this. They give you a suggestion of a spell or a ceremony to look at the energy with, to deal with it. So that's pretty cool. But the one that it goes right with what you're saying is Maximus 15. And it's, how do you feed others when your table is empty? And just what you've been talking about. What is it you need to do? There's that Taurus energy. Taurus takes care of benevolence, stability. What do you need to do that takes care of you so you can be in a relationship and you can be working on those things? And so what they suggest is to set your table with the finest flair to nourish your body and purposely have a very quality food experience that's central and has taste. And when your meal is complete, fold over the napkin, press it to your lips, and say to yourself, my ideas and my life are taking root. I'm here in balance. So
there you go. I love that. I love that. So I want to answer Jennifer's question, and then I want to comment on what Kitty just said. So Jennifer, your question in reference to what chakra is associated with the eyes, third eye is associated with eyes. So you said your eye is twitching. So usually, and intuitively speaking, when someone's eye is twitching, and a lot of it has to do with which eye it is. Mm-hmm. So if it's twitching, I'm going to say that there's something that you need to see. It's almost like you need to blink so you can redirect your focus. So that twitching is about you need to blink to redirect your focus. If it's the right eye, it's about what you need to take action on. If it's the left eye, what you need to be open to receiving. So think about that and see how that resonates. Now, in regards to what Kitty was saying about my next deck of cards, I still laugh about that because I'm like, still not feeling that quite yet, but I'm sure when in time it is ready for me to do it, I'm hoping that I will be feeling it. So I'm going to pull a card now and see what shows up. So she says her right eye. So Jennifer, your right eye. So that really is about taking a minute to blink so you can redirect your focus and see what action you need to take or what actions you've taken already. And if it's actions you've taken already, it may be about giving yourself recognition for the actions you've taken. Because sometimes, and it's so interesting, my nephew was just talking to me about this today. Sometimes we're so busy going from one thing to the other that we really tend to forget to like take a pause and recognize what we've actually done. Like for example, he was talking to me about he's going to be finishing college this, I guess, June, and he's got an opportunity, which then means he's going to have to stop, finish when he graduates college and dive right into the next thing without having that pause to appreciate what he's just completed. And many of us are like that. We go from one project to the next, to the next, to the next, without actually taking a breath to appreciate what we've actually done. And I think that's important for us to do too, is whatever actions we've done, to recognize them. Take a minute just to value that Taurus energy, value what you've actually accomplished up until this point, and give yourself praise for it. Interesting card to show up here. What were you going to say, Kitty?
I was going to say the right eye, left brain. It's just what you're talking about. What pattern are you maybe repeating that your eye would like you to let go of, that twitch? Take the pause to let those muscles in your left brain kind of come to some decisions there. So,
Yes, yes. And even to add on to that, when we think about our eye twitching, when it's twitching, we really can't do anything because we have to stop. We can't see anything because it's twitching. It's like, for example, sneezing, which makes me laugh all the time because when I sneeze, I usually sneeze like 5, 6, 7 times in a row. And I've always wondered, like, when one sneezes, why is it our eyes close when we sneeze? And for me, when I'm sneezing multiple times, I do have to stop. Like literally, I could be driving, and I'm sure the people behind me do not like me. I will throw on my hazard lights and I will stop because I'm sneezing and I just can't see because my eyes are constantly closed. So it's like, it's almost like the universe telling us to stop a minute, stop yourself in motion on whatever it is you're doing so you can redirect. Or for that matter, pause just to give yourself recognition for what you have done.
mm-hmm.
Now, the next card that's showing up here is in reverse. Now, for those of you who might be new to here, to me, our card in reverse means we need to pay attention to this, and some of us may be in a place of not trusting financial abundance. We're worried, we're doubtful, we're in a space of like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And when the card's in reverse, we need to pay attention and talk about all that blinking, twitching, third eye. Now, when we think about the third eye and financial abundance, it's being able to visualize yourself being surrounded by financial abundance. Because if we're in the state of thinking we don't have it, or we don't have enough of it, or if it's not coming in quick enough, we literally block it from coming in. So it's really important to retrain the brain, release the old ways of thinking about money, and know that money is flowing. And it will. It could be one of your new gifts that very well can happen for you, financial abundance. 1 in 7 is an 8 energy. So this is really, as Kitty said, Pluto goes retrograde when?
The 29th.
Yeah. So that 8 energy, which is associated with the 8th house, is the ruler. It is really about letting go of the old belief about what you feel about money and making space for a new belief of what you feel about money.
And of course, money is Taurus, second house value. So it's that continuum of Taurus and Scorpio. And then, of course, that eclipse the next day is in Taurus. So that makes perfect sense. And the fact that Mercury moves into Gemini to communicate about it, how you communicate, how you learn about it, that makes big sense. And interesting, because of all the Pisces energy, I pulled serendipity.
Look at that.
Merge with the flow, and it's a 3. So it's that same vibration. Actually, yesterday was a 4, but it's that same vibration of 3 you talked about, where we talk about that synthesis, past, present, future, all of those pieces of it, and the serendipity. Just merge with the flow. And of course,
It's
when you
so
want money, what do you want? Flow in, not as much flow out, but
exactly. I love the fact that that card showed up. And why? Now, earlier you were speaking about how you were dreaming about your son as a baby, and obviously he's 27. And that card,
Oh,
serendipity.
interesting enough, I was dreaming about my son's third eye, and that it had there were two eyes, and they had a small eye over here, and it had green gook in it. So that was interesting all by itself, you know.
Yes, yes,
So
yes. So when we think about the serendipity card, what first thing that came to my mind was my daughter, because the nursery school that she went to was called Serendipity. And obviously she's no longer a baby. In fact, in let's see, today is 37 days because I'm doing the countdown with her. 37 days from well, not today, but in 37 days she will be getting married. So she's no longer a baby either.
yeah,
So yeah, interesting. Love that. Love that. All right. So who do we have? Alexa just joined us. So hello, Alexa. All right. So I'm going to pull one more, and I'm going to have Kitty pull one more, and then I think we're going to conclude for today. And what I think I like to do today, Kitty, if you're okay with it, once we go through our last card, is maybe just do a little energy on that financial abundance for all of us. I
yeah.
think that might be a nice idea where we can just focus on that for a minute or two to bring it in for all of us who are here and for those watching on replay.
I like my card.
I'm still shuffling. If you want to leave yours, you can.
Vertigo. It's
Ah,
an By the way, it's an 8. Whatever you choose will be correct. There's the key.
and I love that key.
And I think that that's the whole point, is whatever you choose. And we've been talking about that for a couple weeks, especially talking about this benevolence, this Taurus and Pisces energy, the imagination. Imagine what it is you want and choose it. Continually choose it. If, you know, create that. If I want to be grateful about abundance coming in for money, abundance of money, I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful I have it. Those are the kinds of things to see that come forth, and that brings the transformation.
Yes. And two, even if you have a dollar, be grateful for that dollar because that dollar is something. And I'm loving the card that's going to finish this reading for us. I think it's so appropriate. It's self-love. Self-love. I think it's very appropriate because with all of this energy we have going in and the fact that yes, we have a lot of energy in Pisces and self-doubt can show up, especially when we are in that space where we are not trusting and when we're not thinking we have enough or we're not thinking it's coming in quick enough, we really start to self-doubt. And we need to come back into that self love. And with all of this energy, it's so important to ground ourselves right now. Interesting number 7 and 3, which is 10 in Capricorn energy. This is like a full circle moment right now, where Pluto's going to be going into retrograde at the end of the month in Capricorn again. And Capricorn is all about the work that we came here to do, the masculine energy, and also the connection that we do have with our fathers, how we saw them doing the work that they do, how we see other fathers, how we how we just connect with our masculine to move things forward, to take the action that we need to take, or learn that perhaps maybe there's no action needed for right now. So self love is very
I,
important.
I also think it's the same. It's reversed as 37, 37 days till your daughter's wedding.
Oh, I tell you. So appropriate. Everything is so appropriate. Yes. So as I said, I think we have Natasha coming in right now. Hello, my dears. So what I like to do, and Kitty and I like to do, we want everyone just to take a moment, and if you can, as long as you're not driving, if any of you are driving, don't do this. Come back and do it later, and just make sure your feet are on the floor. Close your eyes, and we're going to just bring attention to our third eye and allow yourself in this moment just to visualize abundance. No matter what abundance is for you, it could be abundance of health, abundance of money, abundance of relationship, whatever abundance is, it could be a combination of it all. And just allow yourself to be in that space of being surrounded by it. And to the point where whatever it is you're surrounded by, you can actually feel it, you can receive it. It's not just about seeing, it's about receiving abundance. And just hear your inner voice speaking out, I am abundant. And just be in that energy just for about 30 seconds, just to allow yourself to receive abundance. And if for whatever the reason self-doubt shows up, or not feeling worthy of it, or limitations, or anything that might show up from a past experience that might block your abundance from coming in, I want you to literally see yourself flicking it away and say, not today. Flick it away and say, not today. Just flick it away and say, not today. Because as Kitty said before, based on the card from before, we are in total control. We are command, and our thoughts is what creates our reality. Our vision is what creates our reality. So if you want to visualize being in abundance and having abundance, all you need to do is see it. And remind yourself that when those thoughts show up of the limitations, they're not feeling like you're enough, or don't feel like you deserve it, just not today. Just not today. And push it away. Push it away. And the more you learn to do that, the more you open up your energy of self-love, and you allow yourself to receive that abundance. And with this energy we have with all our planets, all the 4 planets, Neptune, Jupiter, Venus, and as of tomorrow, Mars, all in Pisces energy. We have a lot of energy in Taurus, where we have the North Node, we have Uranus, we have Mercury, all that energy there. We have Pluto going into retrograde on the 29th of this month. So we're going to have a lot of destruction. Things are going to come apart for us. And remember that in order for things to really come into a newness, we do have to break things apart. We have to take things apart. In fact, earlier today, I posted about taking 27 things in one room and either getting rid of it, selling it, donating it, whatever it is you need to do to take it apart and allow this Pluto energy to help you transform into this abundance, into this new energy, into these gifts that are coming in, and embrace this amazing full moon in Libra that's going to help bring more balance into your own personal relationship that allows you to have self-love, and into the external relationships as well. And whatever relationship you're looking to heal, you get to create that relationship by watching it and seeing your third eye, because this is a magical time right now. Many of our planets are helping us manifest the things we want to manifest. Kitty, you have any final words?
I just remember to take care of yourself.
That's a great final word.
Just take care of yourself in benevolence, beauty, love, self-love. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So, Kitty, let everybody know how they can reach you.
You can reach me at intuitionofthesoul11 at gmail.com, or we have a private Facebook group completely free to join, Intuition of the Soul. And if you're interested in learning more about your astrological chart, we have an amazing class of amazing women called Optimize Your Energy for Manifesting. And it's a monthly class, and we're learning how to take apart our charts and use our own intuition with it. So you can reach me at intuitionofthesoul at gmail.com.
Now, with that particular class, is there a specific starting date, or is it just ongoing?
It is ongoing. After 6 months, you become part of the graduate class, and there's an extra breakout session. So the course is a class per month, breakout sessions where we discuss what we learned. This past month, we looked at our quadrants, our and the 4 major points on our chart. And then people come on board. I do a reading for you before you begin, but there's a cycle where we go through all of these. And we have quite a few videotapes for people now that they can watch. So it's a lot of fun. We have a good time. So.
Awesome. Excellent, excellent. And for those who wish to contact me, my email is scrolling on the bottom, healingwithin76@gmail.com, or you could just send me a message the quickest way possible. Hold that thought. Talk about throat chakra. I've been saving that. So, everyone, thank you so much for spending your time with both Kitty and I. We
Thank you.
appreciate you and just
And
enjoy all this energy and rest when your body tells you to. Hydrate, 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 because there is a lot of energy. We need water. So make sure you're drinking your water. We will see you soon when Kitty and I want to come back and play again.
as always, Joanne, this was fun to play.
Same
So,
here. I always love playing. It's always a great thing. So everybody else, have yourself a great rest of the day.
bye now.
Until next time.